Hey everyone, this is Orbeez2468 again of Team Bright Shadow. That's the name of our team. We finally got a YouTube channel on it. So, and this is gonna be one of the first of the few new deck lists of that channel / mine. What I have here for you guys is an elginero based deck, as the deck name describes. Basically, it focuses on heavy tributing, but then again, I get swarm with this deck a lot, so I'm still gonna be changing the deck there and then again, just to get improvements or whatnot. But this is also based on what happened at my locals. So, without further ado, stupid iPod. Let's get started. We have 2 Effect Veiler, 3 evol Sorcerados, 2 Diplo, 2 Pelta. I'll explain the 2 Peltas, and the 1 Volcano. I'll explain the 1 Volcano later on. Then the Elitiles, we have 2 Elgineros, 2 Najajos, 3 Wezos. With this deck, I've been getting a lot of consistency, a lot of draw, just a lot of good stuff in general. It's a good deck. Now for spells. 1 Dark Hole, 3 Evil Diversities, 3 Evil Force, 1 Heavy Storm, 2 MSTs, 1 Paw of Avarice, 2 enemy controllers. Alright, now let's get on to the traps. We have 2 Call of the Haunteds, 2 compulsories, my bad, 2 compulsories, personal check, and what gives this deck major draw power, 3 Evil Instants. You heard me, 3 Evil Instants. I'll explain my instants later. And then Solemn Brigade, Solemn Judgment, and Solemn Warning. 2 Solemn Warnings. Now, you're probably wondering, what the fuck am I using Pelta for? Well, from playtesting at my locals, see, we have Insectors, Gravekeepers, Dark World, 6 Sam, and whatnot, right? And when this guy gets summoned by the effect of a tile, he becomes 2,500 defense. He's great. 2,500 defense? No problem. And then, he's also great in hand, because we have our Serados, they're Beat Stick, and they're great in hand too. And then Pelta is the same thing. Now, we have our Diplos, and our only Volcano. Now, I have a friend of my locals who was on a winning streak, but the reason why he lost is because he had a Volcano in hand. I mean, that didn't happen to him throughout the other duels of getting Volcano in hand, but he lost because of Volcano. He needs something with over at least 1,800 defense in order to protect him, because he was facing 6 amps, and it's like, the opponent had an Inishi out. Inishi had 1,700 attack, I believe. 1,700, yeah. 1,700, and he lost because he couldn't outrun it. Nor, he had an Ajajo combo in hand. But the thing is, his Volcano was in the graveyard and his Volcano was in the hand. And it's like, bullshit. Just flat out bullshit. So he couldn't do anything about it. I mean, he ran an elginero, but he ran it at the wrong time. This is my reasoning behind 1 Volcano. If I have 1 sitting in hand, and let's see, I have so many tribute cards. I have 3 Evil Diversities to search them out, so that way I can get my elginero, and then I have other Evil Tiles at the same time. And then I have Serato, and then look at all the tribute cards I have. I have Evil Force, Evil Instant, and enemy controllers. And this deck's all about control. I want to get the Czars out as fast as I can. So, with Call of the Haunted and elginero, I can special summon him, and then I can pull off XC tributing combos, so that way I can reshuffle my Volcano. Or if I reuse my Volcano, let's say I just want to draw a card, I could just bring back elginero, and then play either Evil Force or Evil Instant, depending on my mood, and then just play the whole thing again. But it's just the only card that can actually stand out against a lot of beat sticks nowadays, it's just Serato, and you're heavily depending on getting Serato on the field and in your hand. And you can run out Seratos really fast. As many Evo players mentioned, this deck thins fast, and it does to so extent. I mean, I'm deck thinning a lot more, but at the same time, I have Call of the Haunted, so that way I can perform my XC summons if needed. And I got the Lonely Volcano. And another reason why Volcano's at 1 is because of Effect Veilers. Everyone is starting to main Effect Veilers. I mean, that's really pissing me off. If I have a Volcano in hand and I special summon it from my deck and it gets Effect Veilers, I get pissed and I already wasted a normal summon. Okay, next turn it gets blown up. So that means the Volcano in my hand turns into a dead card. Run Pelta. It'll take a lot to run over him. He's just a 2,000 wall. Great defense. He's legit the Halpalmos of the deck. I mean, we have Diplos as Bistari. We have Serato as the Luquari. The Volcano's Darius, but the difference between Darius and Volcano is that Darius can actually protect himself. He's 1,700, 500 more. Volcano's only 1,200. He's meant for instant XE summons. So that's why I have him at 1, and so far with playtesting, he's great. He's legit great. I mean, if I get him in hand, I have all these tribute cards. I have eight tribute cards. I could just get an elginero to hand. If I have Elforce and him in hand, I could just get an elginero, play Elforce, summon a Serato, draw a card, return Volcano, and then get like Weasel or whatnot. I mean, this deck has so much tributing potential. I mean, sorry, my cat's on my lap right now, and she's being really obnoxious. But other than that, that's my reasoning of running the 1 Volcano. Is because I do not want to. I do not want to draw into him. I legit do not want to draw into him. And I mean, I play tested, and I barely draw into him, which that's what I want. Because if I draw into 1, the second one is often the fall. So I mean, when I do draw him, I have Elginero. I have 2 Elgineros for backup, so that way I could just return him, and he just stays in the deck. So, and my 2 Najajos, this deck explodes really fast. I mean, I have 3 Evo Forces, 3 Evo Instants, and the 2 Enemy Controllers. Now, he just explodes on his own. I mean, Evo Force gets you 2 Evo Swords with Najajo. Evo Instant does the exact same thing, except one of them doesn't get their effects. But with Najajo, the other one does get the effect. So you can actually change. You could actually do something. You can just like summon a Pelta in defense mode with Evil Instant, and then you get out with Evil Instant, and then you can get out like a Diplo to pop their backer or something. But at least you can keep a field with him because of his raw defense. And then if you have the Call of the Haunted, just bring back an Evil Sword that was in your graveyard and overlay, and bam, you got it. I also run Paw of Avarice because just only to recycle the dinosaurs back. Only the dinosaurs. I barely want to recycle the Evil Tiles because they already did their use. And since I have a lot of heavy tributing cards, these guys will get abused like legit non-stop. So, yeah. And now, reasoning behind Evil Instant. Its effect is tribute 1 reptile monster, special summon an Elsport from your deck. Okay, like I said earlier, with Najajo, he does the exact same thing. He's like a 4th Evil Force, but instead, there's 6. And then when Evil Force first came out, people were saying this card's amazing. Too bad we can't play like 5 or 6 of it. But instead, we have Evil Instant. Evil Instant is legit watered down Evil Force. And also, elginero. Alright, I'm going to get into the instant elginero concept. Elginero, his effect is when he's on the field tributed and sent to the graveyard, draw a card. Then shuffle a dinosaur back to the deck to get an Evil Tile in its place. Hold on. Excuse me. Damn allergies. Anyway, people are saying this guy's bad, and yeah, he is. If you're playing with enemy controller. If you use him and enemy controller, you'll screw yourself over. Why? Because he leaves your field completely empty. I mean, you tribute him, you get out, you tribute him, you get control of your opponent's monster, you draw a card and do whatever shenanigans. But After that, the monster goes back to your opponent, and then you're completely open for game. And that's what sucks. He leaves your field completely open for game, and that's complete bullshit right there. That's like auto bullshit. So, this is my reasoning for Evil Instant. I contribute the elginero. With Evil Instant, and I keep my field. Or, use my instances for Najajo, right? For my Najajo. And then I have my Evil Forces on reserve for elginero. So that way I can get multiple pluses of elginero. Get special on Elsor if it's a fact. Then I get to recycle monsters. He's just helpful like that. But this is an elginero based deck, and I've been getting some amazing results with this deck. Believe it or not, I've been getting amazing results. Now, my last reasoning for using Evil Instant. Okay, so in Japan, there's a new archetype called the Magical / the Book of Spells series, where they can get out a level 7 beat stick instantly if they want to by playing one Book of Spells. Now, with that deck has more lockdown than a lot of other decks, because if you play that deck and you play Secret Village of Spellcasters, you can't activate spell cards. What have you noticed in this deck? We have Evil Force, Evil Diversity, Enemy Controller. Guess what? Those are all spell cards! Oh my god! Oh, those are spell cards! Frickin' hoes. So, with Instant, I could just tribute Najajo, get out of Pelta, and then I could get out of Dipple to destroy the back card. And then I could pull off their field spell. Then I could pull off Shenanigans right after that. Now, you're probably asking, you're running so many tribute cards. How are you going to do it? Well, it's easy. I barely use Enemy Control for its controlling effect. I rather use it to change positions of a monster, so that way my monsters can outrun it. And at the same time, what was I going to say? Shit. It provides me with more tributing options, because the problem with this deck is, if you don't get any of these cards in hand, you screw yourself over. But with this build, I can get automatically one of these tributing cards to hand, and then either one of these Evil tiles. If I get Wezzel on Enemy Controller, I just set the Wezzel, get a Serato, and then hope the poke, and get a Najajo out of it. If I have Najajo, and if I have either of these cards, I'm set. If I pull elginero, and if I just have these two, they're set as well. And for a first turn, if my opponent decides to attack my face down, and I have this, chain it, get a Pelta, draw a card, shuffle it, and then get a Wezzel in its place. And then I reused up my elginero, and then I have my Evil Forces for my Najajo plays later on. So I get like +2 out of that, actually, because I tribute a monster, I tribute him, I get a monster for my deck, that deck thins, and then I draw a card at the same time. So I'm thinning my deck to increase my chances of getting an Evil Force Najajo combo. And then with the Call of the Haunted, if, let's say, I don't have a Volcano play, or I already used it, and I have a dinosaur in hand. Notice on the dino, Call of the Haunted. Oops, I accidentally moved that. There we go. And then I just go for overlay from there. I just love this build. I love this build so much. It helps. Then we have the Axes. We have 1 Ally Cadaster, 2 Dokas, 3 Legias, 1 Getsu, just in case if I decide to call a Haunted, my elginero or Najajo, and then I overlay these 2 for a rank 2 play. I barely run into that, but when I do, it saves me. 1 Menstroke, 1 Giga Brilliant to power up my monsters, and just, like I said, with Call of the Haunted, bring back a used Wezzel, overlay Giga Brilliant. Same thing with Acid Golem. 1 Utopia, 1 Utopia Ray, 1 Photon Populative. Man, why did I have to make that name so weird? 1 Zen Mains, and last but not least, 1 Zen Maester. Now, this is my version 1 of elginero, but I've been doing really well with it. So, rate, describe, comment, like, or whatnot. If I can get 10 likes on this, I'll post a Darwino build. I'll post a Darwino build that can actually use elginero. I believe I have a Darwino build that uses elginero, and if I do, 20 likes and I'll post it. because this is a rank 4 heavy, but I have a Darwin build that works with him at the same time. So other than that, happy dueling, and thanks for watching.